if you are just getting off work, if you're on your way into work, if you're getting that cardio in, getting your steps in, tap in with me. I'm just sitting here reflecting and vibing. You know, energy is on 10. We in high spirits. But I must admit, from time to time, when I do reflect on past situations, it does kind of take me there. But that's the importance of self-care and accountability and doing shadow work and taking inventory. So let's do some of that together. One of the most disgusting things and sickening things about the nature of a toxic or narcissistic relationship, based on my personal experience, I ain't telling you what I think, I'm telling you what I know based on my experience. One of the most sickening things about that situation is that from the word go, even before any initial interaction, even before you'd made each other's acquaintance, even before you'd exchanged contact information, they were strategizing, plotting, and planning for the worst in your direction and in my direction. They were planning for the worst, planning to mislead you, planning to use you, planning to drain you, planning to mislead you, planning to discard you. From the dribble. That's one of the things about this transactional connection that it had been hard for me to come to terms with, because that's not how I operate. I am a giver at my essence, like in my energy. The inner child in me wants to care about other people, wants to do for others, wants to see other people win even above myself, because I know that I'm loved under God. Like when I'm in my higher self and when my energy is where it's supposed to be, my self-care is where it's supposed to be, you know what I mean? And I'm vibrating like in my higher self, I don't worry about that. God and the universe always provides for me, always has. Whether it had been through other people, right? Whether it been just through situations that may have seemed like coincidental or whatever, like God has always made a way for me. And because I trust the way that I do, because I know that God uses all things for the good of those who is called according to his purpose, I'm learning to trust that more and more. And the more I learn to trust myself, the more I learn to trust in God, the more I trust in that provision and in that solace. I don't stress or worry. Like I used to. Like I'm becoming more mature in that regard, right? So I want to be a giver. And I feel like the world is better and people are better and less likely to, do harm, to be on they snake, to be on demon time when people are feeling loved and being taken care of. But you're going to always have people that look to take advantage. And that's something that we have to understand. If there's good, there's darkness in the world too. Everything needs balance. Even if it seems like it's a negative thing, it's kind of all in your perception. It's all in how your mind is set, right? But just to know that from jump, I was being kind of hunted. It's a sickening feeling. It's a sinking feeling. And I'm not, I'm not bitter. I talk about that on this platform all the time. I'm not bitter. I've done a lot of healing and taking responsibility for the part I have to play. That's what you got to do. But it doesn't mean that it doesn't piss me off still. Because it does sometimes when I think about it, when my energy is low. Sometimes you have a rough day. You hear something or see something that might remind you of a situation. Sometimes things I see in the comment section, people sharing of themselves, sharing of their experiences, right? You sharing of what you went through and how it affected you. When you share and you drop it down in the comment section, and I look at that and I read that and process that and digest that so that I can, interact and engage with you. It does make me feel some type of way to know that people are out here being hunted. I don't like the idea of like people being preyed upon. It's kind of like scammers. You know what I mean? When scam likely hits my phone or when I get those text messages, it's that time of year. I ain't going to get too much in the election time and Trump and Biden. We're not going to get all into that because that's another, topic for another day. If that's something y'all want to see on a live, anybody want to hear about that and my views on that, perhaps we could jump on a live about that. I'm open. It's whatever. Let me know. But I'm getting a lot of random text messages and stuff on my phone, right? Asking me about my point of view, asking me if I want to participate in surveys, asking me, who I plan to vote for, and all that jazz. Scam calls. Anytime I get those, like I've gotten scam calls of people pretending to be from the IRS before. Now, I know better. But it always makes me think to myself, somewhere someone went for this today. Somebody gave up their credit card number today. Somebody who wasn't even in a position to give their last like that went and bought that gift card today and submitted that number, or did whatever it was that the scammers were asking, because they really thought that the IRS was calling. Like, they don't understand the IRS would never call you and ask you for your social and threaten to arrest you. Like, that's not how the IRS operates. Yeah, I done been round and round with the Internal Revenue Service. Okay, I'm like, hey, I wasn't always a content creator, baby. You understand me? No doubt. But it makes me feel away, because I'm like, man, somebody older went for this. And this is no disrespect, to anybody who may be watching, but I feel like sometimes older people, in a desire to connect, I don't even want to call it naivete, because I don't want to, throw nobody under the bus, but I feel like a lot of people get targeted for these scams because they're not up on technology the same way. They're not as tapped in. They're living a more simple life in hopes to find peace. Like, they're trying to stay in their peace as far as, the last years of their lives, however many years those are. Like, they're just looking to be cool. But one thing I had to teach myself, one lesson that being in a toxic relationship has taught me, is that I'm not to project my goodness onto people. And listen, I want you to know and understand that I'm not a saint. I'm not a saint at all. I mess up all the time, but it's about the intention that you have on your heart. It's about the malice. Listen, toxic and narcissistic people have it out for you. When they're targeting you, when they're looking to get that number, when they're looking to make contact with you, when they're looking to get you to notice them, they already hate you. They hate your hair. They hate your smile. They hate the fact that other people notice you. They hate how people feel your energy. They hate how your energy shifts the room when you walk in. They hate the fact that you can overcome, and how when something negative happens, you can overcome it, and you can find the goodness in the situation, or you're looking to find a resolution about what it was that you went through and move on. Toxic and narcissistic people hate that about you. They hate your cuticles. They hate the family that you come from. They hate your upbringing. They hate your resolve. They hate to hear the sound of your laughter, because they can't do it. They hate the fact that when you lose your debit card, you could walk into your financial institution and get another one right away, whereas theirs has to be shipped. They hate you for that. They hate that you like lemonade. They hate that you can't sleep with socks on. Like, toxic and narcissists, they hate you for who you are, and you're being targeted. And so, because we're under the impression, hey, well, I'm looking to make a connection, I think they fine, you feel me? Or I like the way they smell, or they seem like cool people, they got great conversation. They say they work in this field. Let's network and be friends and see where it goes from there. Like, that's what you're thinking, probably, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. You can let me know down in the comment section how you got started, but let's vibe. It pisses me off to know that I was hunted. It makes me feel like I was in somebody's crosshairs, because I was. That wasn't my energy about the situation. I never handled the toxic or narcissistic person in my life that way, and I'm feeling like I'm ready to talk about it. I really am. But you all show me engagement in the comment section. I'll give you that story time. I will sit and tell you my story in depth. How I met the toxic and narcissistic person in my life, where I found them, how they found me. I'll give you the chronological order. Like, I'll give you the rundown of that. You know what I mean? Because I'm not symptomatized. Don't be symptomatized. And I'm ready to speak on it. Like, y'all my people. I appreciate you. And I want to share. I want to be more and more open. You know what I mean? I want to go into the new year being more and more open, more and more transparent. No judgment. No disrespect. With love, kindness, patience, understanding. This ain't about comparison. It ain't about competition. This ain't just about me. It's about you. And it ain't just about you. It's about me, and we healing together. And I'm no service to you if I can't be completely my authentic self. And as much as I have done that, I'm growing and I'm healing. And making sure that I'm putting myself on the charger about these things, so they are not a drain on my energy to talk about them. Because sometimes to have to relive these things, it does become tough. But I want to do that, and it always makes me feel better. And I never regret it. And if I get 10 views or 10,000 views, it's worth it. Because when I see those comments in the comment section, like if I get those emails, anybody DMs me on Instagram, or people ask me questions, like, it lets me know that this is reaching people. And not only that, but it lets me know that I'm not by myself in the situation. Like, I'm not alone. I'm not special. I'm not unique. You know what I mean? But I do want to do better. I do want to do right. So if you all want to know that, let me know. And I'll give you the backstory, the whole thing, everything. You know, obviously with respect to other parties involved. But I'm ready to speak my truth. So let me know if you want that story time. Who my narc was, how I met him. If y'all put 3+ signs down in the comment section on this video, I'll give you this story time. I see them 3+ signs, I'll know exactly what you mean. And I'll record it, I'll put it up. Full transparency. Being hunted is not a good feeling. You know, I don't go around looking at how I can extract from people, looking how I could take advantage of people. But that's all they do. That's all they do to everyone that they connect with. And don't feel like you're special or unique in that regard. Like, even if it's just a flying monkey, even if it's a friend of the friend, a so-called friend of the family, a distant cousin, they're military friends. Oh, them toxic and narcissistic people love to have military friends. They love to have military friends. Old neighbors, they went to pre-K together. Like, whoever these people are, their parents, they'll use anybody. They'll use anybody. And sometimes you see it. Even like you in the love bomb phase, you see them using people. You see them taking advantage of people. You see them manipulating people. You see them not splitting that profit down the middle like you're supposed to. You see them giving somebody less of a portion. You see them texting about one person with their homeboy, but then in their face, they acting like they cool with them. You know? You see them talking behind this woman's back that's supposed to be cool with them, a coworker or something, like it's a bad reality show. No love, no hip hop. You know what time it is. You saw the signs, but you didn't want to believe because they was love bombing it so good. They was love bombing me so good. It was, man, I was under the influence. No cap. I was under the influence. I take responsibility. But whole time, it's a game. It don't feel good to be the prey. But I've learned to stop projecting my energy onto other people. Even my goodness. The same way I don't want to suck the air out of a room, the same way I don't want to change the vibe for the worse when I come around, I can't assume that everyone in that room is for my good. You got to keep your head on a swivel. Like my camera sitting on this tripod right now. You got to keep your head on a swivel and be looking around and paying attention to what's going on around you, because it's not a game out here. They're hunters. And no, under no circumstances was it a coincidence. There is no chance encounters with a toxic or narcissistic person. And I'm choosing my words wisely. Again, I'm not saying what I think. I'm not saying what I heard. I'm telling you what I know. I'm telling you what I lived from my own personal experience. And I ain't a clinical professional. I ain't a psychologist. I ain't a psychiatrist. I ain't a physician. I ain't none of those. I'm just a grown woman who has made a lot of mistakes, who sometimes gets pissed when I reflect on what I went through and the fact that I kind of let myself down. But this ain't about that. I'm not beating myself up. We way past that. It's over with. No rumination. Only domination. No rumination. It's only domination. Period. And elevation. And moving forward. And sometimes you got to forgive people, whether they're deserving or not. And you got to accept apologies you ain't even got yet. You may not ever get. Especially when you're dealing with this joker. Stay in gray rock. Stay in no contact. No contact is money. That is the ultimate goal. That's where we want to be. But they're preying on you. It's not a coincidence. It's not a chance encounter. Whether you met them at the church house, you met them at work, you met them at the function, you met them at the family cookout, you met them at Whole Foods, you met them at the dog park. Especially, don't let it be a dog park that you go to all the time. You getting the same drink when you go to your local coffee shop, and that's where you found your toxic and narcissistic person. They plot on people. They plot on people. They sit back and watch and observe, just like a sniper. They sit back and watch and observe, compliment you, tell you how good you look, tell you how good you smell, want to hug up on you, want to be all in your energy. They playing with you. Don't let nobody play in your face. They playing with you. It's not a coincidence. It's not a chance encounter whatsoever. It's not a chance encounter. They're hunters. Just like being out in the wild or something like that. They see certain characteristics in you. Again, they see how other people respond to you. And even as they're feeling that little twinge of jealousy, they want to be close to that. because that's not something that they can produce or manufacture on their own. That's not of their energy. You know, they repel people. You attract people without even trying. That's like the feeling of making money. You ever made money without even trying to do it? Man. It's like you attract people without even trying to do it. They envy that about you. They want that for themselves. And because of that, they secretly hate you. And it's confusing because it's like, how could somebody who is pretending to care about me so much and want to be around me so much, blowing up my phone, doing all this extracurricular to try to be where I'm at, how is it that they could have envy and hate in their hearts for me? But they do. Just because you like the color yellow, they hate you. They hate that you exist. And it ain't a good feeling to think about that. Oh, but it don't bother me now. I know that evil is real. I know that it's the truth. I've lived it. I've experienced it more than once. I just didn't realize what it was some of those other times, you know? But I paid my tuition. That's how I look at it. Reverse engineered it. And now I look at it like tuition that I had to pay for the education that I got. And I want to bring that education to you and share it. Do not project your goodness onto people. Do not project your goodness onto people. That could be like a fatal flaw. Sometimes people look to take advantage of the goodness inside of us, you know? But don't be cold-hearted either. Don't let them steal your joy. Like, don't let them prevent you from connecting with other people. Don't do that. But just know what it really is. Know what it really is. Forgive yourself for ending up in their crosshairs. You know, we were being hunted. I wasn't looking at it like that. I'm used to people feeling on me. I'm used to people digging me. I'm used to people being curious about me and wanting to know a little more about me. That's not out of the ordinary, but I will admit that at that time I was wounded and I did need something. And I was looking for something. I was looking for something. But I got a whole lot more than I bargained for. Best believe that. So connect with me down in the comment section. Drop it down. Share of yourself. Let me know if I'm on the right track. Let me know. Hit me with those plus signs. Let me know you want to hear my story time. Let me know you want to know the essence, you know what I mean, and my most recent toxic and narcissistic relationship and how I got to this point. Because that's mainly what I'm referencing when I'm creating this content. But sometimes, you know, it's even co-workers and like old relationships that I had from the way past that I didn't even know what they were. Toxic friends. Just like in the previous video, I talked about a old acquaintance that tried to hit me with the hoover on a late night. But I already had them blocked. If you hadn't had an opportunity, go back and check that out. I'll link it up here somewhere below so you can see that as well. And tap in. We here. We growing. We building. But I'm ready to talk about it. I'm ready to tell my story all the way. So let me know. Lock in with me. Loved ones. We here. Until next time, we vibe in this best lifestyle, baby.